Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Almost Functional 40K, here with our second day of the Grotmas preview. Today we have the Lion's Blade detachment for the Dark Angels, which looks like it specifically techs into Ravenwing and Deathwing as a combined force. That seems pretty interesting. We'll see how strong it is, and but that's definitely something useful for Dark Angels. So let's go ahead and add this here. So once again, Lion's Blades Task Force. The detachment rule is each time an enemy unit, excluding monsters and vehicles, within engagement range of one or more Ravenwing units from your army falls back, all models in that enemy unit must take a desperate escape test. When doing so, if the enemy unit is battle shocked, subtract 1 from each of those tests. Depending on what you're fighting, this could be useful just for tying some stuff up, stopping it from falling back and charging other stuff, falling back onto objectives, falling back so you can't kill it. I mean, it doesn't actually stop them, but it gives them might give you some potential extra wounds into the unit. Then the second part is each time a Deathwing unit from your army declares a charge, if one or more targets with that charge are within engagement range of one or more Ravenwing units from your army, add 2 to the charge roll. That's really nice. So you get your Ravenwing up because they're faster than the Deathwing, get a little charge in, have a Deathwing unit. Even if it maybe even that just deep struck in, all of a sudden now it's got a 7-inch. So I think there's some play here that definitely interests me. And I'm assuming this works with heroic intervention, because you are doing a charge there. So I mean, even though you already have to be within 6, that will help you get extra range to maybe body block them from piling into an objective or into the rest of your Ravenwing squad and forcing them to fight your Deathwing and maybe saving some Ravenwing. So there's some. I think this is a really interesting rule here. The Deathwing part, the Ravenwing part is just generic to me. Then enhancements, we have Calibanite armaments. One Adeptus Astartes model only. Add 1 to damage characteristics of the bear's melee weapon. That's always a solid one. That's nothing wrong with that. Lord of the Hunt, Ravenwing model only. The bear's unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in turn which it fell back. And you can reroll Desperate Escape tests taken for the models in this bear's unit. That seems solid as well. Just one thing I noticed, both of these are 15. Normally we got a 10, 15, 20, 25. They have 2 15s and then a 25 and 20. So no cheap 10.1. Then we got Stalwart Champion, Captain, Chaplain, or Lieutenant model only. While the Bears unit is not battle shocked, add 1 to the objective control characteristics of the models in the Bears unit. It's 25 points, but that depending on who you put that on, that could be pretty useful. Then you got Fulgus Magna, Deathwing model only. Once per battle at the end of your opponent's turn, if the Bears unit is not within engagement range of one, Bear can use this enhancement. If it does, remove the Bears units from battlefield and place it in strategic reserves. Really like this. This is, I think, something you probably take in most lists with this, because I'm assuming you'd be running Deathwing, Ravenwing with this. Otherwise, I don't see why you're running this detachment. So that really helps with Deathwings. I mean, Ravenwing are fast, but Deathwing are slow, so that could be really, really useful. Then we'll roll down here into the stratagems. Overpowering Exaction. Command phase or start of the fight phase. 1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army. Select 1 enemy unit with engagement range of your unit. The enemy unit must take a battle shock test. When doing so, if your unit has a Deathwing or Ravenwing keyword, subtract 1 from the result. You can only use it once per battle round. I'd have to double check, but if this happens before objective scoring, this could be really, really nice to battle shock someone in their turn to deny them points, or battle shock them during your turn to help you score if you're not controlling the objective. So that one, depending on how the timing interaction of that works, I think I really like this one, because I believe the last thing you do in the command phase is score objectives. Because I know you can do strats in certain armies to turn battle shock off or to give people extra OC before you score. So I'm believing this happens before, in which case I think this is for 1 CP is a very useful strat. Knights of Iron. Your movement phase or charge phase, one Raven Wing unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, each time a model unit makes a normal, advance, or charge move, it can move horizontally through terrain features. That's situational, but super strong because that Raven Wing, being bikes, can't go through walls. So sometimes having to go around stuff makes it harder for them to get places. Getting to an objective with a cheap little Raven Wing unit or getting somewhere to score secondary, or helping set up a charge. This could be real nice. Armor Contempt is Armor from Contempt. We all know what that does. Solid strat. Illuminating Fire. Your shooting phase just after a Raven Wing unit from your army has selected its targets. That Raven Wing unit, select one unit within 12 of your unit that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Till the end of the phase, each time a friendly Deathwing unit makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, add one to the wound roll. Was that until the end of the phase? All right, so this only helps in the shooting phase, and I'm not sure how great Deathwing shooting is, other than like a Cyclone or an Assault Cannon. Um, Although it said something I saw about Deathwing Walkers, so potentially you have like Redemptors or something. Maybe all the Dreadnoughts get Deathwing. I'm not 100% sure, but if they do, if you can use that to give some Dreadnoughts +1 to wound, this might have some play here. Because you only have to shoot at least one weapon there, so you could shoot your whole Raven Wing unit at something else and just put one little pot shot into something to trigger this. Um, so that could be really, really useful. We got Strength and Unity. Fight phase just after enemy unit has selected its targets. One Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that was selected as target of one or more of those attacking units' attacks. If that enemy unit is within engagement range of one or more Raven Wing units from your army, until the end of the phase, each model on the enemy unit makes an attack, subtract one from the hit roll. If the enemy unit is within engagement range of one or more Deathwing units from your army until the end of the phase, each time a model on that enemy unit makes an attack, if the strength characteristic of that attack is greater than the toughness characteristics of the target, subtract one from the wound roll. You cannot use this in Armor Contempt on the same unit in the same phase. This could be really, really strong. So they're wanting you to charge stuff with Raven Wing and Deathwing, and they're giving you rules to make that easier. And then this really, really nerfs what your opponent does into you if you pull that off. So that seems really, really strong if you can set up the synergies to get it going. Then we have Inescapable Wrath. End of your opponent's charge phase. One Deathwing Infantry or Deathwing Walker unit from your army that is within 6 inches of one or more enemy units and would be eligible to declare a charge against one or more of those units if it were your charge phase. Your unit now declares a charge that only targets one or more of those enemy units, and you resolve that charge. Note that even if this charge is successful, your unit does not receive any charge bonus this turn. All right, so this doesn't. So similar to Heroic Intervention, it doesn't say it has to be a unit that charged. So if you're like guarding an objective and someone just toes on or walks on to auto see you on it, but doesn't actually charge you, you would be able to countercharge them with your Deathwing. You would not get fights first from charging, but you would be able to maybe kill them back off of it. So that reminds me, I'm a Space Wolf player, as most people who watch this channel know. Space Wolves used to have army-wide heroic intervention, which back when you could heroic anything in range back in the day, and that was great for guarding objectives. Doing this with a meaty Deathwing Knight unit would really, really stop people wanting to walk any just trash on that's just got good OC but no real survivability to take objectives from you. So I think this is a really, really good strat, because just them knowing you have it a lot of times forces you, or makes it so you don't even have to use it, because they don't want to give you free units, so they won't even walk on and contest it. They'll just try to play around that. So it is 2 CP, but I find just having the strat sometimes is more useful than having to use it. But we'll see how that plays out. I actually really like this. I've always liked Ravenwing and Deathwing. So them having a dedicated detachment for themselves is really, really cool. I'd be interested to see how strong it is. I've been playing a lot of my Space Wolves lately, but that's the type of detachment that could make me mess around with Dark Angels for a little bit, because I love Space Marine bikes. They're one of my favorite things in the game. They're not that great right now, but they're the idea of them, look of them. Like I've run all bike armies back in the day, but obviously I'd team this up with Deathwing, and I have some friends who run Dark Angels. I'm sure they'll play around with this. But I think that the solid detachment, nothing crazy broken, I don't think, but it has some cool synergies. I think that could make it work well and be fairly competitive. So far, I'm liking what they're doing with Grotmas. Hoping to see a Space Wolf detachment here soon. But with that being said, I will catch you guys tomorrow when they drop the next detachment, and I hope you guys have a great day.